CodeBright is a finite element method program, and it's capable of performing couple analysis in geological media. This couple analysis can be thermo-hydromechanical and even chemical. The code is written in Fortran language and has been developed at our department, the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering here at the UPC. CodeBright works in combination with another program developed by CIMNE, the International Center for Numerical Methods in Engineering, and this program has a preprocessor to introduce the input information and a post-processor to analyze the results, and CodeBright works in combination with this pre-post processors program called GiD. The CodeBright project is funded by a consortium of companies composed by SKB from Sweden, Posiva from Finland, GRS from Germany, and Andra from France. The CodeBright team is composed by Sebastião Oliveira, who started the code, Jan Bonat, and myself, Alfonso Rodriguez Dono. We have also a lot of collaborators who help developing some parts of the code, and we have also collaboration with many institutions and companies, mainly in Europe, but also all around the world. CodeBright allows to solve both coupled and uncoupled problems. For example, just a mechanical problem, but also hydromechanical, taking into account all couplings, thermomechanical, hydrothermal, etc. And as I said, we are developing the chemical part also. It can make different types of analysis. Normally we make two-dimension analysis, but we can do also 3 dimensions, and also we can do 2 dimensions but axisymmetric, which is some kind of 3D approach. We can use in CodeBright several element types. For example, in 2 dimensions we have the triangle, which can be linear or quadratic. We have the quadrilateral, and then in 3D we have a tetrahedron, hexahedron, and triangular prism. We have many constitutive laws that can be used, and each of them is defined as a set of parameters, and these parameters can have different, in many cases we can choose different types of relationships, okay? And for output options to see the results, we have different possibilities like vectors, contour fields, and graphs. About applications, as I said, with CodeBright we can solve just mechanical problems. For example, here we have a shallow foundation problem. We have a vertical loading in a 2D axisymmetric problem, and we want to see the displacements in the surface because of this vertical loading. Okay, so here we have the results after some calculation. Another possibility is to have one-phase flow problems. Okay, so for example, in this case we have a channel and we pump water outside this channel. So you can see that because of this, because of pumping water from this trench, the saturated zone evolves. Okay, so this can be also calculated by the program. If we mix this mass balance of water with the mass balance of conservative species, we can solve also simple contamination problems. For example, if in this channel we also have a lake which have some contaminants, we can see the dispersion of these contaminants by the action of the pumping water. Okay, so we can see that some concentration of these contaminants go towards the channel because of we are pumping water from it. We can also save two-phase flow problems. Okay, in this case, for example, we have gas injection in a stiff porous media which is saturated, so we can see the gas pressure evolution, for example, like in this image. And in this case, we are not considering the mechanical coupling, so the porous media is considered stiff. Of course, we can consider also the mechanical problem, and then the medium, the porous media, would be deformable, and the distribution of gas pressure will be different. Okay, in this case. Also, we can study saturated consolidation or unsaturated consolidation if we consider unsaturated soils, like for example modeling of dams. And here we can see, for example, the evolution of plastic deformation and many other parameters. Okay, or tunneling, for example. We can simulate a tunnel excavation, and we can see how displacements evolve, and also if the problem is hydromechanical, how liquid pressure or pore pressure evolves during the excavation of the tunnel. And finally, we can solve thermo-hydromechanical problems with all couplings. Okay, for example, in case of evaporation or evapotranspiration in the, for example, in the surface due to atmospheric conditions, or geothermal fluid extraction, or radioactive waste disposals, which are heat emittent, so the thermal part is very relevant. So here, for example, we have some example of thermal flow, and we can see the evolution of the temperature. And nuclear heat disposal, here we can see some experiment which is the FEBEX experiment, and we can see many things. For example, the evolution of temperature, we can see the liquid advection, we can study many things, okay, with considering all the possible couplings here. And finally, we can solve also, we are developing the chemical part. Right now is we can solve simple contamination problems and a few more things, but at medium term we would be able to have more features in this coupling, and then we will have thermo-hydromechanical chemical coupling.